I'm Kristen Davis. I'm the girl with the mouthful, and I'm here today in beautiful, sunny Savannah, Georgia, and I've come here to show you one of Savannah's treasures. Now, you know we have many treasures in Savannah, like Miss Paula Deen, but this is one of Savannah's hidden treasures, and this is where we're going to get one of our ingredients today. So let's come on inside. This one is my favorite. It's aged, it's really thick, really sweet, delicious. This is the one we're taking home with us. Let's go cook something. Hey, we're back home now, so let's go ahead and get started with our prosciutto-wrapped asparagus. Now, I showed you some treasures that I found in Savannah, Georgia, and we're going to also hide a little treasure in our asparagus today, too. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with some fresh asparagus. This is the season for asparagus, springtime. This is about as fresh as it's going to get. So all I did was wash this up. And now we're just going to snap off the ends. That's the easiest way to do asparagus. You just snap them off, and you can do it really quickly. And we're just going to snap each end off. Okay, now that we have our asparagus ready, let's go get our treasure. I have some cream cheese in the freezer, and the reason I put it in the freezer is because we're going to cut it into strips. And it being in the freezer makes it a little bit easier to cut. So I'm going to go grab that and we'll be right back. Our cream cheese is ready to go. It's a little bit firm. It's only been in for about 10 minutes. It's all you need. So let's go slice this up. Okay, this is nice and firm. We're only going to need half of this. So we're just going to cut it in strips. So I'm just going to cut this. You want about half an inch or so, maybe a quarter of an inch, depending on how much you love your Philly. This is going to be so delicious, wrapped up inside of our asparagus. You're going to be able to take a little treasure home with you today. This is going to make a delicious side dish. Okay. You only need 4. This recipe makes 4. If you want to double it, go for the whole block of cream cheese and get you an extra bundle of asparagus. Now, we're ready to wrap them up. All right, we're ready to roll up our asparagus treasures here. What we're going to do is we're going to stuff our asparagus with cream cheese. And as you can see, I've already stuffed a couple, but I'm going to show you how to do it as well. What I do is I take my strips of cream cheese and I start to mold the asparagus around the cream cheese. Now this really helps when the cream cheese is nice and firm straight out of the freezer. Mine is melting on me just a little bit, but that's okay. And as you can see, I've taken 4, put them around, and then take a couple of more to top you off, and then just kind of squeeze it together, playing with your food. There we go. Let's do one more, our last one. I think we're going to have just enough asparagus. Put 1 on each side, put 2 on the top, kind of scrape it up off your cutting board, flip it over, put your last couple on, and then we're going to squeeze it together. Nobody's ever going to know there's going to be a treasure hiding inside of your asparagus. There we go. For our next step, I have some freshly sliced prosciutto from the deli. Prosciutto is kind of like bacon, so definitely is going to go well wrapped around this asparagus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the prosciutto. You want to make sure you catch your end down here. See this end? You want to cover this cream cheese end and then begin to start wrapping. You're going to wrap with about 2 to 3 slices, and what that's going to do is hold in our cream cheese into our stuffed prosciutto wrapped asparagus. Alright, that one looks pretty good. So I'm just going to keep wrapping these up and plating them up, and then we got a couple more tricks for you, and then we're going to pop these right into the oven. They only take a few minutes to cook, and then they make it a very easy side dish for you and your family. Make sure you wrap your ends so your cream cheese doesn't fall out. You don't want your prosciutto paper thin. You want it, you know, so it's not super thin, but I mean it's thin, but it's not falling apart on me too much. And you just wrap each one right up. Okay. Last one. Yum. Oh. Okay, I have our asparagus nice and wrapped up. It's got cream cheese on the inside, asparagus molded around those blocks of cream cheese, and then wrapped in fresh prosciutto. Now before we put it in the oven, we're going to do one more thing. We're going to take a drizzle of olive oil and just drizzle a nice thin layer over top. You don't want too much because you've got a little bit of fat in that prosciutto anyways, but this will help crisp it up really nicely. Then on top of that, we're going to take a sprinkle of salt, a little bit of pepper. This thing right here was the best gift I ever got for the kitchen. It grinds your pepper just without any work. It's awesome. And then, of course, my dad always says you can never have too much garlic in anything. So we're going to put a little garlic powder on top. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sprinkle this over top. This is all ready to go into the oven. My prosciutto wrapped asparagus with a little secret treasure inside. My oven's on 350. We're going to pop these in for 15 minutes. Or until your prosciutto gets nice and crispy and brown. Okay. While our asparagus is in the oven, we're going to add one more finishing touch to this. And remember, I was at the store this morning and I got some of our local balsamic vinegar. Now, you don't have to have this balsamic vinegar. You can get your favorite balsamic, but this is my favorite. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a balsamic glaze, and balsamic glazes are really easy. All you do is put about a cup of balsamic vinegar on the stove. You can throw in soy sauce, you can throw in some brown sugar, whatever you want to do, but this balsamic right here is so good it doesn't need anything. So I'm just going to pour about a cup in here, and then I'm going to turn my stove on, and let this reduce down. Now pay attention to it because it will reduce quickly and you don't want it to get too thick. But if it does, add a little water in, it'll thin it right out. And we're going to drizzle this glaze over top of our prosciutto wrapped asparagus, and it's going to be so good. You know, like I said, you don't have to have this balsamic vinegar. You can buy your favorite balsamic, but my point is find the things around your area that are delicious and that make your dishes that much special. Every time I use this, it just makes everything that much better because I know it's from my home and I know that it's delicious, and that's going to be that one thing that somebody's going to say, what was that? Okay, so we're going to let this reduce. I'll see you in about 15 minutes. Our prosciutto wrapped asparagus is done. I wish you could smell the inside of my house right now. You can smell that prosciutto. It's like bacon in the house. You can smell the asparagus, and you can smell this balsamic glaze that we made. It has thickened up really nicely. Look how thick that is. Oh my goodness. So we're just going to drizzle this glaze right down over top all of our asparagus. Oh wow. Doesn't that look awesome? I'm so excited to try this. I know it's probably going to be hot, and I'm probably going to make a mess, but this just looks so good. Can you see the prosciutto and the cream cheese and that glaze? Oh my goodness. Y'all might have to leave me for a minute. Make this for your friends, your family. Somebody that doesn't even like asparagus will love this. Wrap your cream cheese and asparagus, wrap it up prosciutto, a little oil, a little salt and pepper and garlic. Make your balsamic glaze. You can get any balsamic vinegar that you like. And just remember to enjoy the fresh vegetables in the springtime and your local favorites. Makes any meal delicious. See you next time.